name's Ethan Parker, and I use he, him, and they, them pronouns. Art is cool to me because it is everywhere. Art is literally everywhere, from toothpaste packaging to billboards, the things that you wear. It's everywhere, and that's why it's so cool. And being an artist in this artful world is really special to me. And yeah, I would consider myself a visual artist. I enjoy sequential art, so things like murals, tapestries, comics, things along those lines, storyboards, and an illustrator. And so with all of those, illustrating is like a main part of it. I would probably have to pinpoint it to this one kid in first grade, and I can't remember his name, or was it kindergarten? I think it was kindergarten. Anyway, but he drew the most perfect flowers, and I just couldn't get over it. And I would just sit there and look at his flowers and look at my flowers and just be irritated. And so I would always look at his art and try to draw like him. And I'm like, okay, I can't draw like you because I'm not you, right? But I would always get inspired by seeing my peers' artwork, basically. And from there, just kind of kept going with my crayons and moved on to colored pencils. And it wasn't until around 12 or 13 is when I started to get more into the style that I have now. So yeah, I was an anime kid in high school and middle school that would sit and just like feverishly draw anime all the time, and so as I grew up, that just kind of fell into an influence of my art. And like, I loved cartoons and cartooning, and this was just another great, beautiful, cinematic expression of animation on the other side of the earth that I hadn't ever known existed. My friend Serena sent me a post that was made on Tumblr with a company called Forward Together, or an organization called Forward Together, and they were putting together some pieces for Trans Day of Remembrance, and I was like, cool. So they were getting a lot of non-binary and genderqueer and trans artists together to create these posters, and I was like, excellent. So on a whim, I applied, and I got the job, and I was very taken aback to be able to stand on the same platform as a lot of these really excellent artists. And I got to work with an organization in Louisiana, in New Orleans actually, called Breakout, which is a queer youth group, and it's a lot of trans bodies there, and they're working on just the complete decriminalization of queer and trans bodies and making sure that everyone can stay safe and lead their lives and not be harassed by police. And it was really great to partner with them in kind of reframing Trans Day of Remembrance as Trans Day of Resilience, instead of focusing on, how many trans women were murdered in the past year, but focusing on the lives and the experiences and the people that are still active, that are still moving around, that are still living. And their tagline was, to give us our roses while we're still here. So it was very powerful for me to be able to be a part of that. And it makes me super happy to share my work with people this way, so that people can be involved and let it touch them in whatever way that might be.
Art is cool to me because it evokes emotion, it can evoke an action, and it inspires. My work is figurative. It's mainly portraits of women, and it's usually in bright, saturated colors, and the women are posed as if they were modeling clothing. And other people view my art, they see things in it that often I didn't see when I was originally creating the painting. So I've had someone say, oh, that's me, or I can relate to that, or I feel that. So I think that's always interesting that people can see things in my work that I didn't see originally. Fashion and fashion photography completely inspire me. When I was younger, I remember my mom had a subscription to Ebony magazine, and the magazine had a fashion section in each month, and it would have black models prancing on the runway, and I would just love just seeing these beautiful black models and just the beautiful clothing, and I would look up the designers' names, and it would just be so intriguing to me. And eventually I started looking at fashion magazines like Vogue, and I started really paying attention to the fashion photography, and somehow that I'm really drawn to fashion editorials and the photography, and it just makes me want to paint something like that. So I would say that yes, fashion and fashion photography motivate me and inspire me.